Dun, dun. Hey. Are we there? Welcome to the Sci Podcast with your host, Just Ty, where you combine your mind with your heart, see what your gut's saying, connect all those three circles, let whatever come out, come on. Not that's how you have a conversation, not just a conversation where things get swept under the rug. But yes, we're here to have some fun. Been a minute, but we here. Shout outs to the whole fam, the whole team. Hopefully that little box goes away. I'm trying to get the chat box to come up. But make sure all the technical things going on, because we the director, producer, the writer of this. I'm the writer of this and of life and all of those fine and dandy as above so below things. So getting out all these skills is very fun. I got a song I want to play while we go off. It's off the YouTube copyright library, but I think it fits the pretty cool. I'm glad the green screen didn't mess up the other side. Pretty dope. Hey, Exile. Nope, the song is over. Oh yeah, that was the YouTube copyright. I'm not connect. The internet is not on the. Sorry about that, guys. About the internet disconnected. Kids was messing around with it. Yeah, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. What's going on now? No, that's all going. It's how it is, guys. Building up, building up. Then we have our own studio. Be able to just tie on without any interruptions and stuff like that. Like I said, the ones that's here, thanks for tying it out. I broke it. What's going on, Piano Key? I could play this in the background while I'm still getting things situated. This song is called Acid by Jeremy Black. That horn is a little corny. They could put some more work into that. Making sure yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I was gonna start this stream all over, but yeah, let me turn this off. Let me turn this off. But I'm gonna keep on going with it. I have a new router installed where it connects to your modem so you can have your own private home network and stuff. And I got the Gen 6 so it can really keep this internet speed going. But the kids had unplugged it and stuff like that. So now it's connected, so hopefully the connection stays secure and strong enough to hold the bandwidth and all of that without dropping frames and all that wishy-washy stuff. I'm gonna open up the Discord. So if anybody ever want to come in and talk, say what's up, happening, can do just that. Yeah, it's a podcast for you. Things just happen. That's why we got the roll up, so we can always get back in that meditative state. But yo, I gotta yeah, it's hard for me to talk with these headphones on, unless I'm talking to somebody. Here we go. There we go. Webba dabba dang. Yeah, making things work. Just making things work. That's where I'm at right now in my life. Just make sure the ideas I have in my head that I'm working with the reality around me to conjure these things. Hey, Exile.
Yo,
Yo,
good day.
yo. Good day, bro. I'm gonna take away this white box. How's it down? How's it down south?
It's beautiful day today.
Nice. It's like 105 going to be here for like the next week. It's been like that for like 3 weeks. I like it though. Like when the temperature actually dropped, I missed it. I like feeling alive, like the struggle. Oh, I gotta keep cool, or I'm taming the hot so I won't get overheated. Instead of just being comfortable. Well, I am
I used
huh?
to turn the shower super hot and then super cold and then super hot and then super cold
Hmm.
before I even knew about the Wim Hof or like get in a you ever been out in the snow?
Yeah, living on the East Coast.
You get in the snow and you get in a hot tub and you go back to the snow and you get back in the hot tub or something like that.
Oh, I did that when I used to when I was at the gym. I used to go to the hot tub and then I used to hop in the pool or I would get in the steam room. Like I would just keep going back and forth. Whatever was hot then cold or hotter than cold, I'll go back and forth. I want to see how that was one day.
I like it.
Yeah, the temperature extremes. You know, people take ice baths and stuff, and they say it's real good for the body. I know Kevin Hart got a YouTube thing where that's all he does. Ice.
After a workout, that cold bath will leach most of the toxin, the toxin, toxious, the noxious gases out of your muscles. Toxic.
Yeah, I was looking it up. That reduces inflammation and improve recovery by changing the way the blood and other fluids flow through your body. When you sit in cold water, the blood vessels constrict. When you get out, they dilate, open back up. This process helps flush away metabolic waste post workout. It's crazy. Yeah, it's been a minute since I was on the podcast. I was like, yo, time be flying. But I be getting real wrapped up in the life. Hey, the piano key.
What up, though?
One love, bro.
What up?
How's everybody doing?
Hey, I'm doing good
Well,
today. Getting things together.
how are you?
Doing good. Just got back from a trip. Um, I wish I had the words for it, but I do not. And I did a facilitation earlier, and I have another one going down at sunset today.
Oh, perfect timing. But good timing.
Yes. Yeah.
They asked for that.
I planned for that just because I'm working a lot of overtime this weekend. Like I'm about to be working in a few minutes, and then I got some stuff to get my kids ready for school tomorrow. So I was like, I don't know, sunset, I'll make it work, and then it'll be brief, so I can get right back to it and get some rest.
How was your
But
trip, if you remember any of it?
let's see, my trip.
Journey.
Stuff in the room was moving. Oh man, it was like the AC was blowing the sheets, not the sheets, the curtains, but it was still just going crazier and crazier and crazier. I don't know. It was interesting. I cannot find the words, but I like doing facilitations because other people can find the words. So the young lady earlier that I did, she was like, nothing looked real and everything had these sharp edges, like a video game. And I was like, you know what? That's perfect wording because I see those sharp edges too. Like everything looks 3D, like the trees and everything. Like it's pops out at you. So I like the way she worded that.
It didn't look real.
I like
That real word is a big thing.
you ain't lying.
Because real could only be based off of our previous experiences that we can remember. Man.
See, and what you just said is like it's hitting, it's resonating because it was like a previous experience type of trip. Like it was an explanation of things. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see here. It was a callback to a dream that I had last night. So in there, I had a dream last night that I saw my stepfather who was murdered when I was like 13, and I was hanging with his son, my stepbrother, who's been locked up for like 15 years. But we were all together, and it was like I saw him, I hugged him, I talked to him, and it was cool. And then the trip I just had was just like that's just an alternate reality. Like it's not just an alternate reality, but it's an alternate reality. So acknowledge and accept it and know that everything is okay no matter what. Like there's a version of like he's okay, you're okay in this reality. No, you're okay regardless. And so like it was these lessons, and so there was a lot of greens and purples within the darkness of me closing my eyes too. It was beautiful.
Uh huh.
Um,
Greens and purples.
yeah, it was awesome. I was looking for faces, like trying to identify certain things and navigate better, but I couldn't do it the way I wanted to. But it was a beautiful trip, man. Um, as far as the vape pens go, I do suspect that I need to. I think I might have burnt my lip a little bit, like not like a third-degree burn. It's just like I can feel a slight tinging sensation, and it's not something I haven't dealt with before and haven't like it's something that heals within a couple hours or whatever. But because I like to help people and I want to give them the best experience possible, I'll try to figure out how I can do that without that being the outcome, and also um,
Yeah, that would scare him away forever.
I mean it's not a huge burn, but it's just like I was gonna ask X, have you tried it recently?
No,
Uh, no. Yeah,
not
it's
not recently.
it's a no worries, and I'm using a bigger one. Like the one you have should be good, but I'm using like a really big one for these breakthrough experiences for my travels. Um, but it's beautiful, man. It's definitely beautiful.
It's beautiful that you doing through that and that you sharing it with us. Cause it, man, cause I'm saying the things that we casually talk about, I just see the vision in the some kind of vision, even if it's an alternate reality, where like these things we talk about become more of a practice and like the common folk and stuff like that, and then what that would mean for the culture change and how we will exist as humans, so-called humans, at that point in time. It's gonna be wild times. Wild times. Man, everybody gonna be. I'm just thinking about how things are in Star Wars and stuff too. Just like, yeah, that's an alien, or yeah, that's he's from that planet over there, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go visit him, or this is the
Yeah,
way you
just
visit
as
it.
much as aliens as anybody else.
Yeah, they come visit us, and then learning about all the instead of relying on the Star Wars technology and stuff, we like now we get new visions of what future technology actually is and how objects warp space and dimensions and stuff like that. It is wild because in Star Wars everything was still in one universe. They never really went to other dimensions, but that's what it seems as though we're doing now. But those dimensions could but those dimensions all part of one bigger universe. Uh,
I think Star Trek had an alternate dimension.
that
Maybe
was
I'm
in my
wrong.
mind. Yeah, Star Trek they did have one. They went to different places. You know they about to come out with a Star Trek cartoon. I'm like, they that series is never going to die.
Hmm.
But when you get the ideas flowing like that, you created a beast, well, a universe, beast of a universe that's gonna keep on creating. It gotta be beastly to keep on creating. Yo, to speaking of beast, it was a picture. I probably saved it in my phone. I'm using my phone as a webcam, but it was a picture of Baphomet, and it had mushrooms and all this stuff on it, and it was similar to how True was saying he saw the Baphomet in his trips. How it wasn't like that demon goat, like that goat head thing you see when you like regularly Google it, but it was more bull something else he said. It's all wiping my head now. Trying to see if I can find it again. I doubt I shared it on my page. Got a lot of family members on there. A little iffy
Reminds me
sometimes.
of the King of the Forest,
Who's that?
a male, a male counterpart to Shiva.
Uh huh.
Okay.
I was thinking about the King of the Jungle.
King of the Jungle,
It's the
King of the
same
Forest.
concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find the
So
picture.
what you just mentioned about Star Trek being turned into a cartoon, I had an I wouldn't say an idea, but just I guess it's an idea. But shout out to you, Exile, for putting me on to the Law of One Raw contract. Um,
Nah, shout
I
out to
found
you.
so it's two books or two parts on Audible. I finally finished part one, and I'm trying to knock out part two. And then it's on YouTube as well, where it's like on the screen, but you can't really hear the people that well.
Yeah,
So
it's really
the
low, and she
Audible,
talks really slow.
exactly. So I feel like if they could just recreate that as an effing cartoon with maybe visuals, maybe without visuals, but just recreate that as a cartoon, so the people who are asking the questions get the voice, and then her could be a little more passionate and have like just some imageries to go with what she's saying.
For
It
sure.
would be a little more digestible for people because everyone should see it. I was thinking to myself, how can I make this available properly to the masses? And that's what came to mind.
Yeah, the
Since
animation
it's
game.
open source, yeah, there you go. Plug in open. Since it's open source, anybody can copy it. Just keep it, open source yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have any problems. And yeah, add to it, flourish it, nourish it, cherish it.
That's why Tomation Studios getting built up. I'm trying to build a team. Well, I'm not trying. I'm just working, going with the flow. I'm upgrading the computer
Let
as
me
I
know what
go.
you need.
I got you, bro. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit you up. I'm upgrading the computer and stuff because I'll be having ideas and flashes like how you had Piano Key, and I'll be like, yo, I want to get this out sooner than later. But then the next day, I'll have a whole nother big flash just as big. And I'm like, wow, I'm kind of backed up on ideas right now. So once I get my computer like upgraded and a team where we can push out stuff, it's going to be exactly like that. Because animation, you are able to like show little hints. You're able to show feelings more when you're doing animation. Like what's behind what they just saying with their lips.
You need to hire some tweeners.
Some tweeners.
Tween. Yeah, it's a in between. So you do the key the most senior animator does all the keyframes, which are like the main actions, and then there's animators who draw the in between frames between those. So like 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, or farther out 1, 5, 10. You mark out your frames, and then there's people who draw the middle ones and people who draw the most important ones.
That's a strategy.
Like,
For sure.
Yeah, everybody get the ins and outs so they able to flow. Cause when I made that animation, that 3 minute animation, I had to do all of that and the different mind states. Luckily, I was microdosing every day that I was doing it too, so I wasn't like having resistance to say, "Oh, I can't do it." It was like I'm gonna figure this out. But it was a lot of work. In normal words, I would say that I went crazy doing it. I had to go mad, had to get into all these different personalities and like really live in them to make everything that I wanted to be important important.
getting mad is part of the process,
It
bro.
is. That's how you create masterpieces.
Agreed.
No, just creating the set and setting for myself. I'm saying that we doing all of it. We're doing the groundwork so it can be a lot more simpler in the future. Even if it's still crazy and stuff, we'll like be riding that crazy wave. A little, doing some more tricks on the wave instead of just trying to hold the board steady. But I want to have the space for everything for like people to have facilitations and have psychedelic experiences or deep meditation yoga experiences, whatever the flavor is for somebody that wants to come through. I want to be able to have a team or of people that's able in the place that's where people can feel comfortable, like probably get like a couple acres or something like that. And just have fun, not make it culty and stuff like that. We got not even just do our best because that would just be worrying about what other people saying, but just making sure that it's as free flowing as this podcast. You can leave, you can come in whatever you want, you can bring your own supplies, you can bring your own stories, everybody listen. No one creed is just experiencing other worlds. That's the main goal. Experience other worlds. Like, and then that's probably what they trying to do at that place in New York where they built that temple with all the psychedelic DMT like faces on the side. I forget the name of it. I got a vision too. And even if it's like, cause I know a lot of my mom. I guess I get this from my mom. I'm just tying on that. Cause she always wanted to be she always was a social worker type of person, and she always wanted to. Even when she found herself wanting to get a job, she wanted to like be in the social worker kind of field where she can help people that was like less fortunate. Even though we was less fortunate, she was just like, I still, hey Ken guys, what up though? She still like always put her neck out for other people, even for signing up, even making it her job to like her 9 to 5 and stuff like that. So I guess that's where I'm getting it from, because I just want to give information out for even if they just come to the place and they get a pamphlet or like safe use or something like that, how to do it, but so that you don't run to your parents and they try to lock you in a psychiatric ward because you experienced something that you can't describe to somebody else, or don't even wish to try to describe to anybody else. So then you hold it in all your life or for a very long time and it comes out in all these weird harmful ways.
Mm.
Like you get big. You can either get egocentric or you can like lose yourself and be like, I don't care about anything. Like this all me. I created all of this. Y'all ain't real. But then when you talk to other people saying the same thing, you gotta come to other conclusions about what that real actually means. Instead of walking around telling everybody they ain't real. So you can do whatever you want. It was a meme I was looking at, where they were saying it was a sign saying give ayahuasca to the Republicans and stuff like that. And then there was another one saying, I forget how they pictured it, but the thing they was trying to get out was that they're gonna start doing more fascist type of stuff and do more mind control because now they like realize how more even more powerful the mind is. Instead of just turning into hippies and turning the government around, they'll probably like go Nazi. I was like, that's something to tie about. Everybody get the same results. And we do run across people where we have similar vibes at, so we just probably didn't run across those kind of people. But Loki was a god too, and all he wanted to do was was mess with people and mess up things, or see things in his trickster type of way. Thor was like, "Can't do that. You have to look out for everybody." They both came from the same dad. I really should have took like right before I did this.
I'm gonna join you. Fire in the hole.
I took some Asawanga and some St. John's wort, some lion's mane, and what was that? Chaga. I think that was in the pill. It was in the powder pill.
Mm.
I did have that. I didn't include the allegedly. I mean, I did.
Yo, Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. His dad is a dude, the Ravager. Have you
Hmm?
seen Guardians of the Galaxy? The dude with the quill. Yeah, he reminds me of Krishna a little bit. He's a
Was
character
Why was that?
because he's blue.
Uh huh. Oh, that's a tall tale something right there.
And he's got this thing that he uses with his mind that can dismantle everybody really, really, really quick and then return to his side, just like the chakra.
Hmm. That is just like that. I was reminded me. I ran across a guy meme. He carries a Krishna doll with him on his plane flights and pays for an extra ticket. He's a Krishna devotee. I think I ran across that this morning. But the what's his name again? The blue guy?
Quill.
Quill. I just know him as the guy from Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, he's in that too.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I'm confused right now. You talking about the blue guy, right?
Yeah, Quill. That's his name, I think.
No, Quill is the main guy, the white guy.
With his dad's, not his dad, but the blue guy who.
Yeah, I see his picture. I just can't click on. Well, I see a kind of his picture. I just don't know his name, so I can't like individualize him. Hey, Blue Bottle. Hey, Blue. Hey, X. Beyondu.
Beyondu. Not Quill.
Oh wow, I could have typed in blue guy. When I just typed in B, it just said blue guy. It came up. But yeah, that's what Marvel does. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's what we getting into now. Changing the archetypes that's already out there that exist in the world, and recoding them, remixing them for fresh eyes, for 2020 eyes, or 2019 when it came out. So you can get that same idea, that all that same feeling and world and stuff, and that they got way back when they was telling stories of Krishna and stuff like that, or seeing them, because they was just like we seeing them on the TV. They was seeing Krishna in like when they was doing they in their journeys, which was just as real as watching the TV, or even more real than TV. Tell you that. But yeah, that's what it was something I was about to say about Marvel and about how they creating archetypes and oh, I be on forums on YouTube Exile, and it be people talking about their psychedelic experiences. There's a couple forums. Hey Prince Pearl Double O, thanks for stopping through. Yeah, and I'll be like looking at it. Be some people coming fresh off trips and like be asking questions like how we ask questions sometimes. And one of them was saying, "Does anybody feel like the TV and stuff is talking to them, or music and stuff?" I was like, "For sure." But then I was looking at, I was like, "Wow, he's writing this on a form because of the way that he doesn't want to be perceived." And I was looking at how people would perceive him in negative, like, "Wow, he's schizophrenic," or like, "What, he crazy, he tripping," or something like that. But over here on the Todd channel, that's stuff that we talk about all the time. And not even talk about that we experiencing all the time. And that's why we talking about it. And we just like, yeah, that happened to me too.
Right.
So it's the zoom out, zoom in of what's going on around the world. People are very having these similar experiences that even when I started the channel, I was iffy on talking about it. Like I didn't go to Facebook and stuff. I went straight to YouTube on saying about my weird stuff. And at first exile, I didn't even talk about mushrooms. I would just talk about the weird stuff and then leave the mushrooms out of the conversation. But then after a while, I was like, no, no. I said, gotta be brave. Gotta be brave. Gotta say the full picture. Cause no such thing as a fraud over here. Like I listen to people that talk about taking syrup and pills and codeine and all that stuff. So this thing is way harmless and it's just what I'm doing. So let's be that person.
No, it's good to say what you feel, what you're thinking, what you've been through. And sometimes, yeah, going into a new space, you can't really, this is a public forum. So, there's certain things that we say and certain things that we don't say.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything. There's a certain how you carry yourself, you're like your character. And those things are learned once you start doing it, though. You got to start doing it.
You gotta get into
What is
character.
it like? There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Yep.
That's from the Matrix yesterday.
I learned that when I was younger off of one vision that just came to my mind was off the Proud Family. You ever see that show? It was on Disney
No,
Channel. The Proud Family. It was a black
Proud
show.
Family.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.
It was a cool family sitcom show. It had with Penny Proud and stuff like that. But in it though, she went undercover. She wanted to write for her newspaper, for the school paper, and she had to go undercover as another person and go through this boot camp and stuff like that. And then in the end, she was writing how she got the experience out of that and stuff like that. But she had to go through it and stuff. And for some reason, that always, well, not for some reason, for this reason, that always stuck with me. I didn't understand it as much as I do now, but that was a little breadcrumb along my life. That to a lot of people, it probably just brush over their head. But everything that I see, it really goes deep. That's why I was talking about the TV and stuff talking. It really it really goes deep.
You were
Yeah, just on how much you're willing to accept it. 'Cause some people get flashes of it for sure, and then they drown it out. Like that ain't just happened, or just really, literally would just think another thought and just go about the day. That's why I be thinking sometimes in my reality, I be I be having time skips and time jumps and stuff like that, where it feel like I was taken out of this world and brought back, but time was stopped, so it didn't really make a difference. So whatever I try to explain to anybody is not they're not going to believe me because time was frozen or like still moving at. It just didn't matter. It's kind of hard to explain even though I'm explaining it. And then I'd be like, oh wow, like I was just taken back. And I remember a couple last summer, I remember thinking I had like Men in Black experiences. Like, yo, I just got back here. So the things that we actually aware of and stuff like that, I think it really goes deep. That's why I think in mushrooms and stuff. Yeah, for sure. That's what, like with mushrooms and stuff. When the Wizard of Oz effect that I like to say, where the characters around you and everything around you still is in play, but they're not who they are. They're like playing different roles in that other world, but it's still like playing out to the story that you live in this life, kind of. That's the thing that I like, that I hold as my magical essence that I see allows me to manifest things and like really be more happier, more content in this life. Because that feeling that as above, so below, like the story that's going on in this other world is still connected to here. So when people now that get made me more content in this life. Oh, got a coin?
Used to be the extra lives. I was like, I've lived long enough.
But yeah, dang, I knew that was happening. I knew I was slowly forgetting what I was talking about. Like it don't happen fast, man. It happens slowly. Like I can hear myself saying, "Wait, wait, wait, wait," no, 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 and then.
Oh well, it'll come back.
For
If
some
I
people,
need
it's
it.
instant. Yeah, if I need it, if I need it. Wow, wow, wow. See, this is the point in life when I just feel like taking more mushrooms. Like, man, just forget all of these thoughts. Go. But I think what I was mentioning was something about dimensions and the as above, but so below stuff and the Wizard of Oz. Like when things started fading away, she was like seeing her mom and I think that was her mom taking care of her. She's like, you was there and you was playing that and Toto was there and da da da. And then in the second, you ever see hear the second Wizard of Oz movie made by Disney?
No. Is
Yeah,
it it's this what's it called?
I don't know. I'm about to Google it.
It's The Wiz, right? Or something. No, that was
No,
Michael
that's what
Jackson.
Michael Jackson. It's called Return to Oz.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that.
Yeah,
I
they
saw the
took.
Michael Jackson one,
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that movie. I mostly remember it for the music though. I gotta rewatch it again now that I'm
right? Can't stop, can't stop.
old. Hey, Charles Pike, Charles McPike. I see you there. Let me get over here. Yeah, the Return to Oz. They seem when I watched it, it's like they took away $5 million in the budget at least. It's like real low budget compared to this first one. And let me see if I can play like a quick turn off the sound. Skim through the trailer room. But she returns to Oz. But she's actually in a psychiatric ward. Like they send the kid away because she keep telling stories about how she was had the scarecrow and stuff like that.
Oh, like in the life here, not in Oz.
Yeah, and they didn't understand it, so then they sent her away. But then something happened, and she got knocked on her head or went through this hole or something happened, and then she escaped and went back to Oz again. Only she can wait. Say Dorothy has recently come home from Kansas from the land of Oz and is now almost back to perfect health since the incident of the tornado. Only she cannot get that wonderful place out of her head. She frequently talks about it and cannot get any sleep at night. Aunt Em worries about her health well-being, thinking she is suffering delusional depression and acute insomnia. She decides to take her to see a special doctor in another town. When he tries to treat her with electroshock treatment and take those nasty dreams away from her head, she is rescued by a mysterious girl who leads her back to Oz for a new adventure. Electroshock treatment. I be hearing about underground stories about that. About people that's trying to seek treatment and they get like electrocuted and shock treatment and it mess them up even more in their life
Yep.
because they like I went for help. I have a my girlfriend's
I went
sister
for
went
help
through
and they
that.
stuck my finger in the electrical socket and then strapped me to a bed. Like, that's gonna help you.
They're like we're rewiring your brain. Your brain is ran off electricity, right? Just zap the shit, and then talk to you and try to reprogram your mind afterward. But no, that's not how it works.
Right?
But really, they are. If they're like this, if we want to go into terms of they're the demon, just messing up people even more. Like you came to me thinking you was gonna get help. Because do they honestly think that they're helping? Like, don't they look at new science?
And that
Let me see. Electroshock treatment. You ever watch? You ever
you know
watch?
what I heard last night that really that it kind of like not really spun me, but I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Was Kalindi made his own 3D printer?
His own?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was
that was
technical.
cool,
I never even hear of people doing that.
right? And
So we're just talking about shock treatment and shock therapy right now, and surprising facts. Uh, One of the things that surprised me is there's this book called Neurotribes that's all about autism and like the origin of autism and just everything. So what you learn in this book is Hitler actually got his neurogenic studies from America. So we had these American scientists that were doing shock therapy on kids and adults that they didn't understand. They didn't even know what autism was. Like our system was really jacked up back in the day for mental health. Like the insane asylums were legit scary places to be that you didn't want to be. And it was just like, so if you had autism or any type of mental defect, they would deem you as, I don't know, less than a person. So all the neurogenic stuff that Hitler came across came from American scientists. It didn't even come. It wasn't his own thinking. He was reading books and publications that our American scientists were publishing, uh, and that's how he came to the conclusion that like these people are better than other people because we were again mistreating people who had autism or any type of mental defect, and then we were allegedly breaking it down to a genetic makeup of like whatever, like Jewish, all the stuff that he came across was from American books. Is all I'm trying to say. Like I don't know, you guys were just talking about the electrical shock
Shock
treatment
treatment.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
No, you right on
That blew
point. What was going on?
that blew my mind.
Yeah, what was going on in my mind was I was looking up American Horror Story Asylum. I had watched that season a couple years ago, and it was showing the horrors that went on in the American asylums and how they was treating the people. There was ghosts and stuff in there, but they was doing electroshock treatment and they was treating people horribly. And it was nuns and stuff, and they were just thinking that they was exorcising demons and really doing God's work.
That's what Hitler thought. He was he was doing. They were doing electric shock therapy and stuff too. Like they would back in the slave days, they would like just kidnap like the dude who invented abortions. I want to say like he has a whole like statue in New York, but like women were really upset about that because he would just operate on slaves to do
Mm-hmm.
abortions, to do like just mutilate their genitalia, and it was
Dang.
just yeah. So all the stuff that Hitler was doing, we've kind of done too, and there's no. I don't say no judgment, but it's just like it blows my mind that electric shock therapy was being done here in America, and also in America, they set the foundations for what Hitler did, and yet we kind of vilified him, but it was more so again him following what we were already doing.
Yep. Hey, Wild Ninja Man. That's up.
What was that?
No, I was saying what's up the Wild Man Ninja. He jumped in the. But yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, man.
Cause that's what history is. It's about whoever won, and then they like, all right, this how we gonna tell it. America just was like, let's say it like this. And then we make songs about it, put it on TV, get it out there in the imagination, and then that's what people really going to believe. That's what's really going to happen till people break out of break out of the reality that we created for them, and then see that we creating this all together, and y'all messing some stuff. Y'all been lying. Lies all over the place.
It is weekend. Uh, but so you gonna do the mushrooms, bro?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's what's up. I need a little microdose myself.
Now that you said just a little bit, I was like, I should take a little bit more. I took like a 2 day break off my regiment. I want to get that feeling, get my mind in gear, get it creative flowing, get that creative knowing, or that knowing just pop out of. Oh, all right. But yeah, I'm planning a trip. I'm with my girlfriend's sister to go to the park and do a couple grams of mushrooms. She been asking me. I said, yeah, we could do a trip and stuff like that. We just gotta get the kids situated. They both got kids. But no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Cause she likes to explore her mind and stuff too.
That's what's up, man. All right, fellas. Well, I'm about to get in here and get to work and get my kids situated for school tomorrow. But I'm gonna definitely get it with y'all later, though.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Happy
You too, man.
journeys.
Appreciate you.
Man. Now that we on the topic of mental illness, about the what they was doing and stuff. I was looking up some guy wrote an article about the 10 facts of the American Horror Story Asylum and about what they was trying to do to treat people mood disorders or bipolar or autism and stuff. They got the shock therapy. They called it electro conclusive therapy because the first enthusiasms. No, are they just saying facts of the show or facts? They imagined it would start the brain in a way that would alleviate the symptoms of mood disorder. Sometimes shock treatment will result in a dislocation of bones. Often it results in short-term amnesia, sometimes even long-term amnesia. It is still used, although with many precautions and care for the patient to clear depression and has been found out to help a great deal. Hmm. I had to look into that, where it actually helps a great deal. I guess I've just been shown the horrors. I didn't watch shown American Horror Story. I brought it up. I brought it up. Mm-hmm. I said it didn't help. Yeah, and Piano Key was mentioning how they that in the Nazis they got it from the Americans. Yep.
This is a bunch of shit, bro. We were born into this. I guess we created it, but we're procreating it. So not totally responsible for everything because everybody can make their own decisions.
No, we not. I just like to talk on the show just to show the points of view.
For sure, I'm
Yeah.
following you.
Yeah, but it's a lot that goes on. It's a lot that goes on in the world. Our girlfriend was just telling me how she had her sister had a car accident. When they was trying to treat her, they gave her electroshock treatment to try to help, but it really didn't. It didn't help at all. Yeah, it made some new pads to help a bit. Yeah, she said she was just really confused about what was going on afterwards. Like when it was done, it was like, oh, I'm healed. But messing with these plant medicines is a whole new game. That's why I talk about them. You had to come over here, so you had to come over here if you want to talk. So they just sound like dead noise. Well, no noise.
Whenever are in the hospital getting bit working but not working.
I hear Isla
Something to
calling.
do.
Uh-huh. Thanks, Sabrina, for sharing. Had to go get the kid. But yeah, that's what she was going through, and that's why I was happy that I ran across psychedelics exile. I ran across psychedelics because my mental was whacked out too. Not from an accident or something, just from life and the decisions, the path that I was choosing to just go down. That dark night of the soul. But I think it all does deal with your chemistry and stuff like that. Your moods and everything, somehow, some way. So it's connected to the how your how your hormones and everything is flowing. Like that's the machine of our body, how the things move around, the circuitry of it. Because first I used to forget about all of that stuff. I used to say when I was first getting into spirituality and stuff, I was saying, oh, I said the pills and stuff. And this just go to show the roads that people go down, or at least I went down to reveal the certain layers of why people think things work and why people fight against things and say, oh, that don't work. Like, fuck that shit. But when I was in it, when I was first growing up in spiritual, I was saying that the pills and the SSRIs and stuff didn't work because I was like, man, your emotions and stuff don't matter about your chemistry and what's going on in your brain and all of this other things. And but then when I started getting to mushrooms, I was like, wait, I'm feeling like this because of the so-called spiritual nuance sayings, but also because my neurochemistry is being affected. So so I started like trying to see and admitting things to myself just to see where that path keep going. And then I just hear it's just like the combination of a science and it's an alchemy. It's an alchemy. Hey DeAndre. Hey Butter. I believe it's really an alchemy that goes at it. And I think the division that we and why we feel so divided and not really getting the conclusions and results that we want in life right now is because we keep separating everything. That we got the chemistry and then we got religion. It's like it's not together. Everything is separate. But it's always the people that come out with like the best of the best thing though that be making that be still having they like little spiritual stuff to them. They just probably won't talk about it. Like the guy that invented the laser. He remember he was going over that. I ran across that article, and he got it from this guy that came up with it theoretically first, and his goal was to combine the science and the spiritual woo wah.
Do you know what they used to call psilocybin?
What's that? Telepathy. Yep. There we go. Right there. I had to do that to you. Yeah. And then they was like, no, 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 we can't name it that.
A scientist is gonna call it telepathy. Wait. Can't call it that. We can't be saying that shit.
Yeah, another chemist came along.
It's like Nassim when Nassim Haramein talks about when he talks like his theories and stuff. He walks into these grand physics rooms. There's this guy, you know, they have the model of the universe. Is this guy's head blowing into a a balloon, and the balloon's expanding, and that's the theory of the universe right now. And he's all okay, so he drew little lungs on the guy, and he said, "Who's this guy?" And they all got quiet. If you guys are, if this is your theory, who's this guy? You know, like
Mm-hmm.
so.
I know about
Yeah,
that life.
it's a over there, but don't talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Don't talk about it.
And I know exactly what that personality is because I used to be that type of person. Because I wanted to be go to college and stuff to be a scientist, and I was listening to a lot of Richard Dawkins around a certain period in my life. You know who he is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and for those out there that don't know, he's this biologist. This Brit, he's from over there across the pond, and he's a real advocate for atheism. But he's a real top prominent biologist, evolutionary biologist. So he talks a lot, and he made some documentaries I saw back in the day where he was interviewing scientists and like questioning them, like, why do you still believe in God? Like, how do you hold true to stuff like this? And it was really exposing the community and stuff like that of seeing how even in the scientists they like got some people that's take this path and some people that take this path, but so that they can still work together and stuff like that, so-called work together because they still dispute all the time. They say we ain't gonna talk about that. We just gonna let the math speak for itself, and that's it. Even though the math is exiled, the math is coming out of their imagination.
Right?
Just like Nissan Harriman, the lungs came out of his imagination. Like add this to the equation.
Yeah, these even numbers are imaginary.
Yeah. I was tripping when I was getting into trigonometry and we had to learn about imaginary numbers. I was like,
It works,
yeah,
but they're imaginary.
yeah. The square root of -1, then you enter complex numbers. But we still work with these imaginary complex numbers in our regular equations. Like, wait, so these is imaginaries, but these are not imaginary. It's like it's wild. It's wild.
It's like octaves. There's like red is obviously not green. You can tell the difference between the two colors, but there's just the same thing vibrating at different wavelengths, right? Same kind of light particle vibrating at different wavelengths. It's not like there's a light particle that is red and a light particle that is green. No, it's the same light particle. It's just moving faster or slower.
Yep.
So just like math, it's like math. You can talk about math in a religious sense, or talk about math in a geometric sense, talk about math in a societal sense.
You can. You can. And that's why I love life and all the factions of it, how they all play out to exist and they all matter. That's why I don't like to play anybody that got any kind of story to tell or anything like that. Like your story matters. It really does. You got to see how it matters. And once you see how it matters, that's the ticket to just create the visions that you see in your head even like more prominent. You always are really, but yeah,
So how do you deal with trolls?
deal with trolls.
Hmm.
They part of the. I'm trying to play a vision in my head right now.
Ho, ho,
Somebody
it
po-
got you. It got you. Right there, it got you.
That's what I say. The only thing I can do about a troll is laugh, cause I know that they got me, and it's like
They got themselves.
yeah.
What are you causing all this ruckus for? Let me go ahead and get up out of your way.
Mm-hmm. That's a troll mission, and the troll is just like in a game. Like if you on a mission, they just pop out of nowhere, and then you gotta hit some buttons and dip and dodge and do whatever you gotta do. But that's not the point of the game. That's a point in the game, but that's not the point of the game. Unless you peeking at that moment and that troll turn into a jester. But yeah, that's the way. You ever do you watch South Park?
No,
No.
I have watched a little bit of it
Mhm.
back in like when it was first coming out, but I never had cable.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I always was fighting for, cable. Mom, I need cable. I need
To watch 360,000 channels.
And now I'm trying to get her off of cable, and I'm trying to get her onto the internet and stuff like that. Cause that's wild how the game that's just always played, and that bring me back to what I was mentioning before about the game too, about the trolls and everything. What we still talking about when the guy was saying how is the TV talking and stuff talk to you and stuff like that. I think everything is, and when a hint of something is given to you, like you remember that thing, even if you don't remember it. Like a scientist or someone would say, it's stored in your amygdala responded to it, even though your prefrontal cortex didn't react to it. So
Right.
somehow, some way, it got to you. And with shows and everything, the way that they talk, like with Disney, when they say, um, the Imagineers or the Marvel universe, the people that create the Marvel universe, like they literally mean that they're creating a universe, and they called it Marvel. Like people will probably say, "Oh, it's a play on words and stuff," and oh yeah, they paid that person a lot of money to come up with that fancy saying and stuff. But they really are displaying their talents, their magical abilities here, and it just trickles down as probably like their animation. Speaking of Disney right now. Their animation, the way that they capture people, but just the way that they build people up, like cable, 4,000 channels and everything like that, and um don't want to miss out on like Nickelodeon like I got the Nickelodeon songs in my head all the way from the beginning. I can't even say one of them because it's just like a bunch of saying like I can't even. It just went through my head, but it was just a bunch of mouth noises that they was making in the beginning. Oh no, that was Cartoon Network. That was Cartoon Network. But I got all of those in my head, and now look what I'm still doing now. I still like Nickelodeon. I still tune in and stuff like that, and it's just it's not a bad. I don't look at it as a bad thing. I just see it as a thing that I'm doing. That's why I'm cre. That's why I'm working with y'all to create to create excuse me to create and do just like what they doing, because it's like they just showing myself to myself what's possible. So instead of me getting mad at Disney and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, that's how it works, or a way that it works.
A way.
Mm-hmm. How you get your Imagineers, let them free flow. You put business plans together. You interact with society for a bit. Like in the beginning, they was had cartoons about the World War II and stuff like that, like Looney Tunes. They would have Hitler cartoons, just like be part of the society and stuff, but still have their imaginary universe, just to get the people involved in it and stuff like that. Hmm.
Watch how music is involved too.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
animation, like there's certain amount of emotion you can get from a silent film, but then
Mm-hmm.
like if you add some music to it, you can definitely feel more, get more. It's like you're almost there, like experiencing more.
And you
Because
tapped
if the
in.
music's off, you're like, I don't fucking
Yeah, you probably press skip,
this.
rewind it.
Or if it's scary and it's a happy feeling, like you're like, oh, what? That was off.
My mushroom mind now finds that funny. I'm like, yo. But when yeah, when if you're just trying to experience it, you like, did they mess up or something? Like, huh? I noticed the music exile on a bunch of levels. Like even with animation, like how even on movies, what just flashed in my head, how they have the title sequences and they like of the production companies and they like show the globe or the girl, the lady, the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that. Like you're that's their that's like imagine flying into America or something for the first time and like you see a statue or something that lets you know that you're here in America. Like how immigrants, when they first came to America and they saw the Statue of Liberty, and then they read all these stories about how it inspired them and made them progress and stuff because now they living in America. Like all of those stuff is introducing you into the movies, bringing you into it. And these things we talk about like if you go to film school and stuff like that. But in the psychedelic space is like when you really get into the good enough dose. For me, I started hearing the music and stuff, and it's like that's the introduction of me going into another space, or like in
But you
DMT.
hear the music before even the image arrives. Like there's a motion, there's a concrescence, there's a crescendo.
Yeah, and it's like that's the introduction, and like that's the way it's supposed to be, like emotionally. Like, all right, here it goes, dun 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 dun, or and just keep.
State.
Yeah, just man, life is a play. Life is a play. And a lot of the keys is just literally like learning how to run a show. Learning how to run the show, you like learning how the show is being played around you emotionally while the squirrel just ran by you. A squirrel probably run by somebody and they be like, ah! Or like, that's just a squirrel. But then that's played out too in the story. But then it can be written and you like, wow, if I was to write a story and the squirrel ran by me, it was because it was this character is at an emotional point in his life and then the squirrel runs by and it's like he interacts with this moment of innocence and he's brought to this blah 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 like it's all it's wild because then when you go on trips and mushrooms and stuff like that I hear a lot of stories about people saying how they encounter everyday objects but they have this newfound respect or experience with it rather it was talking to them or something like that yeah so it's all a story it's all fun and the way that is written is like we know the way that is written and but we so exile we so good of writers that even if we write that we just knew that we knew we will write a twist so that we still surprised and act like we didn't know
Yeah. Yeah.
and then sometimes even say like why do I even do that to myself like literally say out of your mouth why do I even do that to myself
Because you know you could.
because you know you
Fucking
could
idiots. through through infinity, there tends to gravitate birds of a feather flock together, right? Like
yep
same things will coalesce towards same things, and then the dual opposites of those things will continuously work oppositely of those things. Like you seen like computer models where they run like shooting two things of liquid at each other like for billions and millions of times, see the output, and like
The Hadron Colliders.
yeah, different stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, making them clash like a relationship. How they say opposites attract most of the times, like you clashing, trying to create something.
There's no time limit. Remember on those fight like sometimes you couldn't change the time on certain video games, but then when you could change the time limit, you're like, oh fuck, it was like infinity. I can battle this dude forever. Like I don't. There's no limit. Like
That does, yeah.
we were talking about, I think somebody was talking about like how you learn Confucianism when you're younger, and then you learn Taoism as you're older. Like you learn the path. You learn a path when you're younger, and then you learn no path when you're older.
That's what happened. That's what's happening. I was reviewing myself. One of these. Yeah, that's how. That's how it is. What the opposite.
And these like normal concrete words tend to want to describe that thing, but
Mm-hmm.
that motion is better described or felt or resonated with and then carried on with somebody if it's more of a sound or a vibration, a motion or a ceremony, a rhythm, a dance, something that strings things together and is not just bass like that maybe.
Yeah, that's why we as
Both.
humans
There's
seek
both.
connection.
There's both.
Mm-hmm.
There's both. There's both.
And
If the Earth got hit by asteroid, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember that shit.
it's gonna be at the last second too.
But then we're talking about frames of time, though, right? Because on some time length, it did last for a really, 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 really long time.
It does.
Planck
Uh-huh.
theory.
Moments last stretch out for a long time. And
Is
then
death
it's
talking?
did I see what?
No, I'm saying about myself. Like,
Oh.
you say one word, and to them, it's like, dang, is this guy done talking?
No, that's how it is. The
Like the ants speaking fucking 20 words, and it takes them 30 minutes.
Yo, that's probably how it is too. I was just envisioning that. And then when you slow down time enough or speed it up, whatever you got to do, you able to catch their vibe and be able to see what they say, and they like, oh, he can hear us. Time is always being manipulated. Time is always being manipulated. We just choose and agree to this faction of time. So saying, oh, 30 seconds is a minute and stuff like that. Did I just say 30 seconds is a minute, 60 seconds is a minute? Entire world, 30 seconds is a minute. But then it's different ways to
Did you hear
keep.
about
Mm-hmm.
the kilts that have the pleats on them?
No.
So
What about it?
you spin them one way, and then they speed up time, and you spin them another way, and they slow down.
Oh, yeah. I heard you mention that. What you saying? Kalindi was talking about that in the martial arts. Or just having that period and going into the trips.
It's yeah, the form of the thing generates a certain effect, just like cause and effect. Like a ball bounces, but then a ball that has it kind of looks like a chakra. Things that have this spiky interface with the surroundings have a certain resonation. So you can use those things like different like tools. Like everything's got a specific or not really specific, but maybe it is specific. Yeah, specific use. You can do a specific thing with this, and then you can do it with it with There's probably multi uses for it, but there is probably like, hey, you should do this with this thing. Time.
Uh huh. Now I'm feeling this dose a little bit. I just took off my shoes while you was going in.
My shoes are off. Oh, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, I'll be outside in a bit. I had to make sure I went live, Todd, on cam for a bit. Cause we be digging deep. We be digging deep. It seemed like we just talking to a lot of people. But when you, even to myself sometimes, but it needs to feel like that. That's why I allow it to still be and go in that direction. But I be looking back like, wow,
Take their family as their family. There's certain people who take their neighborhood as their family. There's certain people who take their country as their family. Then there's certain people who take the whole universe
yep.
as their family. Getting to that universal family thing, it's like you simply live a certain way. Like this is just how I am.
I gotta tap in, see what's going on. See what's going on with the stars. What's going on beyond the stars. But yeah, that's excuse me. Trying to tie. If y'all in the chat have any questions or anything to pop up, I mean that y'all got in your mind or anything, ask away. Just taking advantage of this time that I have now to be live. Oh, it was cool being able to go back to play the Love Park game on the Skater XL. And then I posted it on Instagram, and a couple of my buddies saw it that I grew up with, that we all grew up at Love Park. They was like, "Yo, I didn't even know this level was here," and stuff like this.
That's dope.
I was like, "Yeah, bro." I said I got to go back and visit and go skating and stuff, and I was tying on how we used to come up with all these creative ideas, and we just living it. Like we ain't had no money, we just spent all our money on skateboards and stuff. The shoes was always messed up. He said you playing your skate game now. I mean today. Yeah, play it, play it. Or get on the board and fall like 10 times. Got kids now, Oz. We need they need you. That's what I need, another joint. But yo, how remember how True and me and True be saying how we knew each other in other worlds, and how we be saying too, we knew each other in other worlds, and we came here and we created all of this, and and I was getting the feeling in trips that we was, well, not even feelings, the the experience that we was magicians and we was curating things on this side to like take a break and like live like this, but we actually doing all these other things, and like we came here because we buddies and stuff like that. My Jamina's sister, my spouse sister, she was saying, and she never tied into the channel before either. She was saying how she had that same feeling, how we was existed some other place, and then we came here to like play things out and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, that's what we be talking about on the channel, our galactic interdimensional family. And it's just our shadow puppets, and we living things out, experiencing it, what it is to be separated in the way that humans are separated and stuff, with ideas and their own way of experiencing life. Well, this way of experiencing life. Because probably up there, we still probably have a different way of experiencing life. Just, just another way.
That's right.
I remembered, it's a DMT story that I've read a while ago. Before I start, when I was like researching a lot of other people's stories, just trying to get information about what DMT and all this stuff was. And it was this guy that was saying how he went, when he took it, he was going into a magical school, and they was literally like training him with powers and stuff like that. And the trip was like continuing from one trip to the next. It was like a continuation. It wasn't like a brand new restart and stuff like that. So he was literally going and he was visiting his friends and stuff over there and going to school. I was like, whoa. And this was a guy that was just smoking DMT in a trailer. Like he just lived in a, I think that's what the things that's possible. Cause I'll be feeling like I'll go through those things. The only time I've experienced it off psychedelics was in the trip where I wasn't even in the school, but I was just doing the magic just to do it. Like I was conscious enough to do whatever I was doing. I don't even really remember. But when I'm watching animes and stuff like that, and in my own vision of practicing, because you practice reishi, I was gonna say reishi, you practice reishi mushroom.
Yeah, I do.
You do. Can you hand me the tree, Jamina? Reiki. You know what I'm trying to say. What's the word?
Yes, sir. You said it.
Oh, Reiki. Yeah, Reiki. So you know about really honing in on your imagination and getting those practices in of seeing the light, a white light in front of you and stuff like that, and moving it in your body and your legs, and then like, or probably what I used to do is hold things that was I just focus on the white ball, and anything that was bothering me or anything like that, I just let it all float into there, and then I would just float it off into the universe, and I would envision it, because this is what I was reading too. The keep
Cool one that I just learned.
what's that?
I didn't. I think Wildman Ninja taught it, or somebody in the Discord. Hold out. I think it's both hands. Hold out both hands in front of you, and imagine a rose in your hand. Now imagine what I did is I threw it up into the air, and it became 40,000 roses around me in a circle.
I was just juggling it between my hands, like, shoo. Like it's supposed to
Now,
just sit there.
with all those yeah, with all those roses, it's like same thing as you could put yourself inside of a mirror, um, with the mirrors like a disco ball, with the mirrors facing out, so all the mirrors, no energy can come in. So there's different, like you can make up your own too, but those are some of mine.
Mm-hmm. Now y'all can go practice that out there. I'm gonna do that rose trick too. Because in anime, that's what it's normal for my imagination to be able to go that far, and that's why I like that. I watch cartoons and animes and stuff because that's what they was doing naturally. Like imagine growing up as a kid and just watching these people on TV just doing all this magic power stuff that when you look around you don't see, but you feel like you can do it. Like who didn't run around like Sonic, like with their arms
Right?
behind their back? Like this gonna make me run faster. I used to do that. And then it changed into the Naruto run to people in the next generation. Put your hands behind your back so you run faster. And I used to practice the hand seal jutsus and stuff like that. And then I learned later I was really learning mudras and stuff. Like, wow.
Naturally.
Yeah. Teaching myself. I used to always say the TV taught me more than a lot of other things. I used to say the TV taught me more than school. When people used to say, "How you learn so much?" I learned a lot from TV. I just pay attention at a different angle, from a different angle than most people, but not from a lot of people. Yeah, thinking about what I'm thinking about while I'm thinking about it. Most people, that's too much. For me, I'm just like, just stay quiet and I'll be able to do this. Just don't talk during the movie.
Your mind's all.
I'm just imploded into it. That's why I think for a lot of the youth, when they start hearing our trip stories, if they never did a psychedelic yet, and I don't condone or promote the use of illegal or legal drugs on this channel. Got to do with your bodies what you decide to do with your body. But I think a lot of their imagine when they hear our trip stories being so put out there in the public and stuff like that, or our experiences period being put out there in the public and them listening to it, it's like they're not going to really be seeing this on a cartoon. They're going to be seeing this in their life. Like it's going to be even more of a mind awakening experience, because that cartoon layer is more I mean, compared to cartoons, the layer between watching an actual person on TV is lessened. So you're like, oh, I can do that too. Or I can bring that even farther. I can remix it and add my own experience that I just had, and with that one little thought that they just was talking about, is just now propelling me to now probably do something unimaginable. Before that was unimaginable to the old gods, but now we the new gods. Gods everywhere. Hey, Teardrop Hall.
I have to bounce out. Have a good day, man.
All right, you as well, Exile. Thanks for tying on through. But yeah, that's what it is, the new gods and stuff. Because that's what people feel like when they're young, like they got control of the world and stuff. And then when you get older, you think that you lost it. And then it's those that still hold true or be like, man, I still like happy with my life. I'm still having fun. I'm still doing things that excite me. I'm still going out to having relationships. I'm still doing this and that. Late notifications. At least they sent it out. I was like, I didn't go live in a while, so they probably didn't send it out the most. So I'll make sure that stays more consistent. But yeah, we was tying out on a lot of things. Teardrop hole. About how now people, and even now even cartoons, because now even for the youth, because it's like that for me, the line between watching what cartoons can do and what they can do is even more blurred. Like I just said, that long example of them seeing a person and that being more interactive, but still seeing the animation, because I know how it is for me, it will still unlock a lot of keys to the self and what's actually possible with picking up on thoughts or having reflexes that's out of this world at least. Or even in the future shooting fire out your palm or stuff like that. But still connecting and feeling the world around you more than just looking with your two eyes. That's where I want to be after, and that's what I'm gonna tie on out with. Thank you everyone for coming on through. Shout outs to Exile 13, as I was saying, for having that conversation with me, and for Ian Key for sharing his DMT trip, and to all the adventures we're gonna have in the future, to Wildman Ninja over in Discord, King Guys, Blue, Prince Pearl, DeAndre, Charles McPipe, and Prince Pearl. I'll be back. Kind of late with the tree. At the end of the show, I was wondering why I wasn't able to talk. But it's probably still going to tie out. But yeah, this was fun, guys. I'll catch y'all on the Ty side. Be sure to subscribe to the Instagram. Ty always. Peace out.